Hello there, and welcome back. I'm Alex, and today I have something special for you. We're going to learn English with a story. Don't worry, we are not reading the whole book. This is a short and simple version of a very famous story. It is perfect for learning English because the words are easy and the sentences are short. The story today is called Robinson Crusoe. I will tell it to you slowly using simple words. If you don't understand a sentence, that's okay. Just keep listening. You will understand the next one. Here is our plan for today. First, you will hear the whole story. Then, I will teach you some important words from the story. I will explain each word in a clear and simple way and give you a real example. And finally, you will practice by repeating after me. So get comfortable and get ready. This is Robinson Crusoe, told just for English learners. A long time ago in England, there was a young man named Robinson Crusoe. Robinson did not want a normal life. He did not want to sit in an office every day. He wanted adventure. He wanted to see the world. His father did not agree. His father wanted Robinson to stay home, get a safe job, and live a quiet life. He told Robinson that the sea was dangerous and that sailors often had hard, difficult lives. But Robinson did not listen. He was young and he was full of dreams. One day, without telling his family, Robinson left home. He walked to the port and got on a ship. At first, life at sea was exciting. The sailors sang songs. The wind filled the sails. Robinson watched the water and felt free like a bird. But the sea does not stay calm forever. A few days later, a terrible storm came. The sky turned dark. The wind grew strong. The waves grew tall, taller than houses. The ship began to shake. Water came over the sides. The sailors shouted and ran across the deck, trying to save the ship. Robinson held on tightly to a rope. He was more afraid than he had ever been in his life. He thought about his father's words, and he understood too late that his father had been right. Then a huge wave hit the ship. Wood broke. Water rushed in. Everything went dark. When Robinson opened his eyes again, he was lying on wet sand. The sun was shining. Birds were flying above him. He sat up slowly and looked around. There was no ship. There were no sailors. There was no one at all. He was completely alone on an island he did not know. At first, Robinson felt lost and afraid. He did not know where he was. He did not know if anyone would ever find him. He did not know how to survive alone. He walked along the beach and found the broken ship stuck on some rocks near the shore. Using wood from the broken ship, Robinson built a small raft. Over the next days, he sailed the raft out to the ship again and again. Each time, he brought back something useful: tools, nails, rope, guns, and bags of food. He also found paper, ink, and a knife, small things, but very important for a man alone on an island. Using the wood and tools, Robinson built a small shelter near a hill. He made the walls strong. He made a fence around it to keep wild animals away. Inside, he built a bed, a table, and shelves for his food. It was not comfortable like his home in England, but it was safe and it was dry. Days became weeks. Weeks became months. During his first months on the island, Robinson became very sick. A high fever hit him, and for several days he could barely stand. He lay in his shelter, weak and shaking, wondering if this was how his story would end, alone, with no one to help him. But slowly, day by day, the fever passed. Robinson grew stronger again, and after that experience, he promised himself something important. He would never again waste a single day. He would work hard, plan carefully, and never give up, no matter how difficult life became. Once he felt strong again, Robinson decided to explore the island more carefully. He wanted to understand exactly where he was. He walked for hours, past trees and hills, until he found a hidden cave near the rocks. The cave was dry and cool, a perfect place to store extra food and tools, safe from rain and from animals. From that day on, Robinson used the cave as his second shelter, a quiet, secret place where he felt calm even on his hardest days. Robinson learned to hunt small animals for food. He learned which fruits on the island were safe to eat and which ones made him feel sick. He found wild goats on the island, and slowly he learned to catch them. Later, he kept some goats near his shelter, so he always had milk and meat. He also found seeds from the ship, and he planted them in the ground. After many weeks, small green plants grew. Robinson had grown his own wheat for the very first time in his life. To remember how much time had passed, Robinson made a simple calendar. He took a big piece of wood and cut one small line into it every single day. This way, he always knew the date, even though every day looked the same. Robinson also began to write in a journal. Every evening, he wrote down what had happened that day and how he felt. Writing helped him stay calm. It helped him organize his thoughts, and most importantly, it helped him feel a little less alone. Years passed this way. Robinson built a second, bigger house. He made new tools. He made simple furniture. He even made himself new clothes from animal skins, because his old clothes had become old and torn. He was still completely alone, but he was surviving, and slowly he was becoming stronger, calmer, and wiser. One year, feeling hopeful, Robinson decided to build a boat. He wanted to sail away from the island and find help. He chose a large tree and worked on it for many weeks, cutting and shaping the wood with his simple tools. It was slow, tiring work, but Robinson did not stop. Finally, the boat was ready, but when Robinson tried to move it toward the water, he realized a terrible problem. The boat was far too heavy. He couldn't push it, pull it, or lift it, no matter how hard he tried. Robinson felt disappointed, even a little angry with himself. All those weeks of work, and the boat couldn't even reach the sea. But instead of giving up completely, Robinson learned an important lesson. Next time, he would plan more carefully before starting such a big project. He rested for a few days, and then, patiently, he returned to his daily life on the island. Then, one ordinary morning, everything changed again. Robinson was walking along the beach, thinking about nothing special, when he suddenly stopped. There, in the wet sand, was a footprint. A human footprint. Robinson's heart began to race. His hands started to shake. He looked around quickly. No one was there, but someone had been there, recently. For many days after that, Robinson could not feel calm. He stayed near his shelter. He watched the sea carefully. He built a second fence, hidden and strong, just in case. Slowly, watching quietly from a distance, Robinson learned the truth. Sometimes other people came to his island by boat. They were not friendly visitors. They were dangerous men, and they were not alone. They brought prisoners with them. Robinson watched, feeling both frightened and sick, understanding what kind of danger existed on the island. One day, from his hiding place, Robinson saw them return, and this time he saw something terrible. They had brought a prisoner with them again, planning something cruel. Robinson's whole body was shaking, but somewhere inside him, a different feeling grew stronger than his fear. He knew he had to act. He was afraid, yes, but he was also brave. Robinson ran forward, shouting loudly and firing his gun in the air. The dangerous men, shocked and frightened, ran away toward their boats. Robinson reached the prisoner and quickly cut his ropes. The man looked at Robinson with wide eyes, full of shock and gratitude. He fell to his knees, thankful to be alive. Robinson helped him stand, and slowly they walked back toward the shelter together. Robinson decided to call the man Friday because that was the day they had met. Friday was strong, smart, and kind. In the beginning, he could not speak any English, so Robinson began teaching him one simple word at a time. Friday learned quickly, and in return, Friday taught Robinson about his own home, his own family, and his own life far away across the sea. Slowly, something wonderful happened. Robinson was no longer alone. They worked together every day. Friday helped Robinson build stronger shelters. He helped him find more food. He helped him fix old tools and make new ones. At night, they sat together near the fire, and for the first time in years, Robinson felt something close to happiness. Time continued to pass. Robinson and Friday lived and worked together, protecting each other, learning from each other, becoming true friends. Then, one clear morning, years after the storm that had first brought him to the island, Robinson saw something far away on the water. He looked again and again, not believing his eyes. It was a ship. Robinson and Friday quickly ran to gather wood. They built a huge fire on the highest point of the beach, hoping, praying that someone would see it. Slowly, so slowly that it felt unbearable, the ship began to turn toward the island. The people on the ship saw the smoke. They saw two men on the beach, waving their arms and shouting with all their strength. Finally, after so many long years, a small boat was lowered into the water and it began moving toward the shore. Robinson Crusoe was finally going to be rescued. He stood on the beach one last time, looking at the island that had been his whole world for so many years, the island where he had almost died, and the island where he had truly learned how to live. He said a quiet goodbye to his old home. Then, together with Friday by his side, Robinson Crusoe returned at last to England. He was not the same young man who had left home so many years before. He had suffered, he had struggled, he had almost given up more than once. But he had also survived. He had learned, and most of all, he had grown into a patient, strong, and truly wise man. And that is the story of Robinson Crusoe. Okay, it's Alex here again. Let's go over some of the best vocabulary from today's island adventure. These words will help you understand more stories and help you sound more natural when you speak English. I will say the word, explain it simply, give you a real-life example, and then we will say it together. Shadowing time. Ready? Great, let's go. Adventure. An adventure is an exciting experience, sometimes a little dangerous. Example, traveling alone was a great adventure for her. Now repeat. Robinson wanted adventure. Voyage. A voyage is a long trip by sea. Example, the voyage across the ocean took many weeks. Now repeat. We went on a long voyage. Storm. A storm is very bad weather with strong wind and rain. Example, a storm hit the coast last night. Now repeat. The storm was very strong. Hold on tightly. This means to grab something very firmly so you don't fall or lose it. Example, hold on tightly, the road is bumpy. Now repeat. He held on tightly to the rope. Shelter. A shelter is a small place where you stay safe and dry. Example, they built a shelter from wood and leaves. Now repeat. He built a shelter on the beach. Survive. To survive means to stay alive even in a hard or dangerous situation. Example, she had to survive without food for 2 days. Now repeat. Robinson had to survive alone. Hunt. To hunt means to chase and catch wild animals, usually for food. Example, in the countryside, some people still hunt for food. Now repeat. He learned to hunt small animals. Journal. A journal is a personal notebook where you write about your day and your feelings. Example, she writes in her journal every night. Now repeat. Robinson wrote in his journal. Footprint. A footprint is the mark a foot leaves on the ground. Example, he saw a footprint in the sand. Now repeat. There was a footprint on the beach. Race. Heart. When your heart races, it beats very fast, usually from fear or excitement. Example, my heart was racing before the interview. Now repeat. His heart began to race. Prisoner. A prisoner is a person who is captured and cannot leave. Example, the prisoner was afraid and alone. Now repeat. He saved the prisoner's life. Brave. Brave means having courage even when you feel afraid. Example, it was brave of him to speak up. Now repeat. He was afraid, but he was also brave. Gratitude. Gratitude is the feeling of being thankful for something someone did for you. Example, she looked at him with gratitude. Now repeat. He was full of gratitude. Fix. To fix something means to repair it. Example, can you fix my computer? Now repeat. They fixed the old tools together. Rescue. To rescue someone means to save them from danger. Example, the firefighters rescued the family. Now repeat. The ship came to rescue them. Wise. Wise means smart, with good judgment that comes from experience. Example, my grandmother is old and wise. Now repeat. Robinson became wise and strong. Fever. A fever is when your body becomes too hot, usually because you are sick. Example, the child had a high fever all night. Now repeat. Robinson had a bad fever. Explore. To explore means to travel around a place to learn about it. Example, we spent the day exploring the old city. Now repeat. Robinson decided to explore the island. Cave. A cave is a large natural hole in a hill or under rocks. Example, they found a cool cave near the mountain. Now repeat. He found a hidden cave near the rocks. And there you have it. Your vocabulary adventure is complete. This is how your English gets stronger. One word, one story, one step at a time. And remember, you don't have to do this alone. I'm here for you every single episode. I'm Alex, and this was a story just for you. See you next time.